Hi guys, and welcome to another Game of Thrones video here on my channel. Today, this is more like a podcast. I'm just talking and talking and talking about the season 8 or the series finale of Game of Thrones. Because I got a lot to talk about it. I know just the first part of my Game of Thrones series review, whatever, came out, just the first season, and the others are coming out in a few days and weeks. But right now it's a current topic and a current very hot situation, and I want to talk about it because I got a lot to say. You know, there are two parties right now. The one that likes the series finale. We have to say it's a series finale, not just a season finale, and the ones that don't. And I don't know where I land in this situation because it's just, there's some things I like, and there are some things I don't. And I'm very torn between these two parties. And I think I need to take time to find myself in that situation. I think I want to watch the series finale again one more time, and then I want to have closure. You know, I only watched the series I watched it in 1 month. Like, I started on April 17th, and I ended it with everybody else on May 20th. So it was just like 1 month, not very much. So I don't have the connection to the characters, or not as strong as a connection as other people have watching the series since 2011. Like, there's a difference of how I look at the characters and the series as a whole, because for me, I don't have the time spans waiting and stuff like that. I don't have to wait for the final season. I don't have to wait 2 years, you know? It was just 1 day for me, and I started watching the season, and I watched episode 1, 2, and 3 in 1 day, and then 4 and 5 the next day, and then the season finale. Like, it worked out perfectly, so yeah, but for people who are watching the series for a longer time and have to wait all those years and stuff like that, I can understand that it feels that the series finale does not feel satisfying, and that they are a little bit disappointed. I personally feel the same way. So for me, it was not a good series finale. It wasn't the worst. You know, nothing tops How I Met Your Mother. It's just like, that's the worst series finale I've ever seen. But the first part of the series finale of the last episode, I really, really like it, and the second part I don't. So until the point where Daenerys dies, that's the turning point for me. When Daenerys is dead, everything afterwards, I don't like it really. It's not much good stuff in it. Maybe because my favorite character died, but whatever. But before that, that's all great. A little bit too rushed, but I'm not going to talk about that so much in this video, because I'm going to talk about that more in my season 8 review when that comes out in a few weeks. Because it's not a problem of this episode, it's a problem of the whole season, or maybe the last 2 seasons. But yeah, topic for another time. So, let's talk about the episode chronologically. So we start off right after episode 5. Daenerys burnt down King's Landing. Tyrion walks through the ashes. Great shots, great visuals. Everything is stunning. Everything is great. I love it. That's just something that Game of Thrones is very good at. Cinematography and colors and whatever, except for whatever. So it looks great, and he's walking through the ashes, through the ruins. He meets Jon on the way, I think, and then he's looking for his brother and his sister because he knew where they should go, and he was trying to look if they made it. And when he entered the basement and he saw the hand of Jamie, you know, tragic scene, heartbreaking scene. Because by the end of the series, I liked every Lannister. So I liked Cersei. Cersei I liked from the beginning, as well as Tyrion. Jamie I didn't like. I liked Jamie in the last few seasons. So there's not one Lannister I didn't like at the end. I mean, there's some things that these characters do that are not great, but that's the same with Daenerys. So seeing that Tyrion is the last Lannister and that he's mourning the death of his siblings and the last members of his family, really, like, that's heartbreaking. And the acting of Peter Dinklage, that's just great, and I think that he deserves an Emmy for the last season, as well as Emilia Clarke. So there is great acting throughout the series and throughout the last episode and the season and whatever. That's not the point. Like I said, the first part of the series is what I like about, not the series, the season finale, is what I like about the episode. So then there is the whole heroic, not very heroic, but the victory speech of Daenerys and Valerian to the Dothraki and to the Unsullied. Great. I am pro Daenerys, and there might be people out there who say that I'm crazy defending her, but she's a good person. She has a good heart, and I will always defend Daenerys. You know, everybody does horrible things, but that does not mean that you're purely horrible. Like, you can do horrible and terrible things, and after a while, like, it was not a while, it was just like half an hour later, of course she cannot really see what she has done. Like, that would have come a little bit later. If you would have kept her alive, I'm pretty sure that she would have regretted what she has done. But in that moment, she's just full of joy that she has won the city and that she has won the Game of Thrones. And yeah, not in the end, not really, but at that point. So I liked the speech. It was epic. It reminded, the whole season reminded me a lot of Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So the fourth film, which is great. I love this film. So there are a lot of similarities, and I will talk about that in my Season 8 review coming soon. But yeah, they're, the thing I'm most unsatisfied with is her death. But before that, I want to talk about Tyrion being arrested. It was great. I was fine with that, I was glad she didn't kill him. But he was such a great advisor for her most of the times. So that she didn't kill him was, I think, it was great. And I was happy with that. So he got arrested, then Jon goes to talk with him. And then they have this great conversation that I really like. And then there are some great quotes like, duty. What was it? I don't know. Duty is the death of love, and love is the death of duty, or something like that. Great lines. Great dialogue. I really like that. But Jon in that scene is so pro Daenerys. He's like, she's my queen, she's my ruler, I love her, I cannot betray her, and she has done those things because of what happened to her, and he was defending her. And I was like, yeah, Jon, this is the first time I'm sympathizing with you. You're okay in that scene. And then the next scene, he kills her. So that switch is very radical and not fully developed. I'm like, okay, like I said, yeah, rushing everything. But they should have made a few more episodes throughout the throughout the season, so that everything has a little bit more time. I think after episode 5, after the destruction of King's Landing, you need 1 or 2 episodes to fully develop the turn of Jon and how he starts to realize that what Daenerys has done is not the right thing until the point where he kills her. And you also need time to see what Daenerys is really like as a queen and give her more great moments, like the moment before she died with the Iron Throne and what she talked about, like she imagined the throne being swords stacked up and stuff like that. So I was hoping that they would take, because the episode is very long. I mean, it's 1 hour and I don't know how many minutes. So it's a very long episode, and I was hoping that the episode would not turn into a happy, wonderful, happy land very fast, but would stay in that very dramatic and also terrifying in some ways situation as in the beginning with everything post destruction. Like that was this the best part, these more silent and more gray moments, I would say, because the end is very bright and very happy. So when Jon comes in and then they're hugging and, yeah, you're my queen now and forever or stuff like that, and then he stabs her. I mean, it was predictable. I knew that she's going to die. That was just... It was obvious. Like, there was no way she could survive the show now being the bad guy. You know, that's just not going to happen. Especially with just 1 episode left. It was clear that she cannot be redeemed in that 1 episode, and so she had to die. Then I got spoiled through YouTube recommendations, which is horrible, that Jon kills her. So in that scene when they were talking, I was like, this is the moment, now it's going to happen. And it was lame. Like, I was sitting there, and it was more unsatisfying than the death of the Night King, which also went by very fast, and everything happened so quickly. And, you know, her death was more unsatisfying and more boring and disappointing. You know, it's the same situation with Cersei. You know, her death was also very unsatisfying in a way. I mean, there's great symbolism behind her being buried beneath the Red Keep, which is the thing she always wanted to keep, like, in her life. You know, there's great symbolism. But Daenerys never having... I mean, I'm sure... No, I'm not even sure if she ever sat on the Iron Throne. I think that never happened. So, wouldn't it be... The best ending for her, in my opinion, is a dramatic, epic ending. It was clear for me that in this moment, it had to happen in that moment, you know? But I was imagining something more, like I said, epic and dramatic. Because the Hunger Games comparison, the coin of President Coin at the end is great. It's perfect. How everything is staged and stuff like that. It's great. I love the scene. So I think you could have done the exact same thing with Game of Thrones at the end, like Daenerys having another great victory speech, wanting to kill somebody, or she sentenced someone to death, or somebody should kill. Maybe she didn't arrest Tyrion, but wants to kill him, so she sentenced him to death, but is like, yeah, Jon, you're killing him, or something like that. And then she's having her speech, and Jon walks up to her and does not kill Tyrion or somebody else, maybe a Lannister soldier or whatever, but kills her in front of everybody. Would have been a much more impactful and much more tragic death. Having her die in a situation where she felt very powerful. In this scene where she died, she didn't feel powerful. She just felt happy that she got to where she is, and that Jon is with her, and that he just said, yeah, you will be my queen forever. You know, she's happy about that. And then she feels betrayed again. And then she dies on the floor, lying there, like, I don't know, it... Well, I have this image up here on my screen, and it just looks not good. I don't know. It's so... Then with just the few drops of blood, and... I don't know. You know, the death of... There are great deaths in Game of Thrones, like... The death or the whole Red Wedding is a great death. It's a subversion of expectations. And I think it shouldn't be that here. Like, it was no surprise that she's going to die and that he's the one to kill her. But how it was handled and how it was executed in the end is not the best way to go. And I don't know. Maybe it's something that... George R.R. Martin told them that he's going to be the one to kill her, and he's going to stab her before she ever sat on the Iron Throne. Maybe it's the most detailed description they have ever got about a plot point. We don't know. Like, we have to wait for the books. But from a writing perspective, it felt unsatisfying. And then comes the most unsatisfying part of all. I mean, she's dead. That's just something we can never change, and that's written now. The scene in which Drogon tried to wake her up was heartbreaking. And when he melted the Iron Throne, like, okay, why is a dragon doing that? We don't know. It was very metaphorical, like, if it would be a human being melting the throne in that situation, a character, like, okay, it's more understandable, but in that situation, having a dragon melt the Iron Throne because his mother died it's a little bit weird. Okay, like, no one shall sit on the throne if Dany never got to sit on the throne. It's okay. That's a great message or thought behind the whole thing. But, like, I was so sure that Jon is dying in that situation, and that, I mean, okay, he can't die by fire because he's a Targaryen, but maybe, I mean, we saw dragons ripping people and just killing them completely by, I don't know, biting their head off or something. So this cruelty is, I mean, it would be a great death for Jon. He deserved to die in that situation. So why not? And then there's the time jump. And there's the council meeting of all these lords and ladies coming together, and Sansa is a bitch again, and there's the water bottle. And it also feels very convenient that Jon and Tyrion didn't get killed, you know, because the Unsullied, they were so supportive of Daenerys, and the one who killed her is not killed by the Unsullied or the Dothraki. Like, yeah, okay, I understand they don't want to be so cruel, but he just killed their queen, the one they always protected and always wanted to protect. Like, just arresting him seems very convenient for me so that he can be kept alive. And what I think is great, that he regretted, or that he had second thoughts after killing Daenerys, because he was like, was it the right choice? Because I don't feel like it is. And it felt great in that in that moment that he realized that maybe it was not the best way to go. But yeah, the whole council meeting with everybody there, it was okay, you know. The scenes after that were more meh. But this scene was okay. I like that Sam was like, yeah, maybe we should do a democracy, and everybody was like, what the fuck? No. No. What was funny in that situation? But Sansa, still don't like her, and I never will like her, you know? When somebody said that Bran should be the king, I think it was Tyrion, Sansa was like, yeah, no, you're, no. He cannot do this. You're not going to do this. No, never. Like, she was speaking for him and talking for him as if he could not talk for himself. And it felt... She's such a bitch. I just don't like her. I don't know how people can like her. But when they broke the wheel, kind of, by choosing Bran as the new king. Okay, yeah. It's okay. You know, it's not the perfect choice. I think nobody will be completely happy with the ending of the series. But I think Bran is even better than, let's say, Jon or Sansa on the throne. Like, I would have not liked that at all. That would have made the series finale even more horrible if that would be the end. But no, it's Bran. And what I think is also great that we never got to see him sitting on a throne. And he's not... I think what's great about Bran being the new king is that he's not doing very much, and kind of Tyrion is the actual king, being the hand. Like, he's taking himself very out of everything, because we have seen the meeting with all the other members of the council. Maybe before that it wasn't a real council. I don't know what it was. But the meeting at the table, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, I'm looking for Drogon by. That was also... Like, Drogon flew off, and he flew into the sunset. We never saw him again. So where is he? Why did he take Daenerys with her? And what happened? Because I think there is a slight chance, is that how you say it? I think there is a chance that Daenerys could still be alive. Like, okay, we saw her dying, but we saw Jon Snow dying. And maybe Drogon is super special and he has magic skills and can resurrect people. Like, okay, I would be fine with that. But it's very weird that I like that he took her with her, because she's his mother. Or is Drogon maybe female? I don't know. It's her, whatever, mother. And maybe Drogon just wants to bury her, like, on Dragonstone or so. That would be great, you know? But I would have liked to seen that. Would have liked to seen that? What the fuck? Would have liked to see it. Would have liked seeing it. You know, sometimes talking is just very hard. But what I wanted to say is, I don't remember. Yeah, that Tyrion is kind of now the king, and Bran is just the cover-up. Like, you know, I don't think that Bran is really doing much as a king. Sansa taking the role of Queen in the North is great. It was cool, although I don't like her. And that Arya goes west of Westeros to the Resteros, kind of, you know. Good joke. Not mine. I mean, that's a payoff from season 7, I think, or 6, where she I think she was in Bravos, where she then said, yeah, like, what's west of Westeros? Nobody knows. Which is very, very weird that nobody knows what is west of Westeros. Like, did nobody ever sail there? Or did nobody ever come back? Give me that spin-off series. I want to see it. Macy Williams? Please. That would be great. But, yeah. So, all of the Starks, most of the Starks survived. And it's basically just now the Starks ruling over the whole world. Like, Jon is in the north of the wall, which is, by the way, very unnecessary now, because why is there a wall? For what? And why is there a night watch? For what? Like, there are no Night Kings and White Walkers anymore. Like, okay, but maybe there will be some coming back, blah. Then Sansa is the queen in the north, Bran is the king of 6 kingdoms, and Arya is going west of Westeros. Like, the Starks are all over the world, and it's, maybe they created a new wheel, and maybe Daenerys couldn't save the world from another wheel. That's kind of like what I think about the Starks being everywhere now. Except for Pentos and stuff like that. And what is the other? Estos? No. I think Estos. I don't know. So yeah. So yeah, now I talked about every big plot point or happening in the series finale. What I didn't like about the second part after Daenerys died, you know, it was, like I said, the beginning was very grey and very tragic and sad, and the end was bright, happy, and everything is so fine. That was like the voice inside my head, like, oh, it's so fine, it's a happy ending, everyone is happy, and everyone survived, and there's no new threat, and Bran is a great new king, and Sansa is the queen in the north, and everything is so great now, and Arya is sailing into the sunset, like, cliche. It felt very much like Lord of the Rings. The last time I've seen Lord of the Rings is, I think, 5 years ago or something. But the end of the third movie is, as far as I know, the hobbits are going on a boat tour. They're going somewhere with a boat. Like, it felt very similar to that. Like a very shiny, happy ending. And I think that's just not fitting for the series, you know? You can have great, happy moments, but not in that extent. Like, you know, it felt too much happiness in the end. Because, I don't know. If they would have kept the tone from the beginning throughout the episode until maybe the last 10 minutes or something, that would have been great. But I think half of the episode is an epilogue. Like, Daenerys dies, I think, after 40 minutes or something, or 50. So there's still a lot of time left. Maybe not half the episode. Let's say it's 60% or 70% post destruction, and then the rest is post death of Daenerys. And the part after her death could be much shorter, and yeah, it just felt very cliche and very too much. It felt glittery, you know what I mean? What, like these Hollywood teenage movies when they have a happy ending, it felt like that. And I really wanted to posted it before I watched the episode on Twitter. Like I said, I wanted to watch the series finale. knowing that I will not be happy with choices that will be made, because the only way I could be really, really, really happy with this series finale is Daenerys surviving, sitting on the throne, or Tyrion surviving and sitting on the throne. Like, those would have been the only options under which I would be very, very, very happy with the series finale. So I knew that I was not going to like decisions that were made, but I wanted to like the series finale, and I wanted it to be epic, because I listened to my Spotify playlist, and there was a song, I don't know what it was. It was a soundtrack of, I think, Star Wars Rebels season 2 season finale. Great episode. So that just came up, and I felt that joy and that epicness that I felt watching the season finale of that show in 2016. Like, I felt satisfied. And then I wrote this tweet, like, I want to be satisfied, and I want to end this show on a happy note, but not feeling... I want it to feel epic, you know? That's what I wanted it to feel like, and it didn't feel like it was epic at the end. The beginning was epic, and the beginning was dramatic and sad and a gray dark tone, which I really, really liked, and which the show is known for. But the end felt too happy and too shiny and bright, and everything is fine. And yeah, I don't know. Those were thoughts that I had in my mind like the whole day now, since I watched the finale, and I'm going to watch it again. But I think, like, the end is the part where I will skip a lot, because it's just not very interesting for me. Like, after her death and after Bran was selected and elected as king, I was like, okay, now end. But give me something epic. Give me not a cliffhanger, but end on something monumental. You know, because Game of Thrones is a monumental show. And ending it in this very normal way, very ordinary, just didn't feel right for the series. Wow. Now I talked like 30 minutes, and I still have things in my mind. Like, but hey, I like this series as a whole. I'm going to talk about that even more in my Season 8 review. Coming soon. Wow. So good at self-marketing. So yeah. That's the end of Game of Thrones. For me, it was just a month. For other people, it's been 8 years. I think I prefer the month. Like, I don't want to be in the position of watching a series for 8 years and then having a series finale that does not satisfy me that much. I mean, like I said, there are great things, and I think it could have been worse, but I think it could have also been better. Like, it's not the worst, and I already heard people saying and read articles and something with the headline, yeah, like, Game of Thrones is the worst series finale ever. No. There are other series that have worse series finales, and shows that get cancelled. I mean, you have to imagine that's the series finale, and it's not meant to be a series finale. So there, you can experience something way worse with a series finale. In Game of Thrones, it's not a bad series finale. But for me, characters I like and I don't like, you know, it depends on stuff like that. So, and the happy note at the end. Like, happy note is okay, but don't give me, like, a happy overload. So yeah, it could have been worse, but it could have also been better. But I think we're here in the middle, between good and bad. And I think over time, you know, people will forget about it, and people will say, like, maybe one year, and I think in 1 year people will change their mind a little bit and won't be so harsh. Like I said, they're great things, but they're also bad things, and yeah, whatever. Okay, so thank you for listening. What are your thoughts on the series finale? Like, did you like the death of Daenerys? Did you think it was a good death for the character? Like I said, I don't. Do you think that Jon... I didn't talk about Jon's ending. Like, I don't care about him. That's how I feel. Did you think that Jon going to the Night Watch again and then going north of the Wall with the wildlings, do you think that's a great choice? Sansa being queen in the north, Arya going west of Westeros. What do you think? What is your opinion? Did you like the tone? Did you like the ending? Oh, yeah. And did you like the moment? I mean, what was great for me is when Sam was the new... what's the name? I don't know. And he brought the book, The Song of Ice and Fire. I mean, it's very meta, and it's very, very weird in some ways, but also kind of cool. And it's a nice nod to, the title. Okay, great. Let's end it here. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Bye-bye. Yeah. 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 Yeah.